again, you know, maybe you like the look of one mic over the other. They're really not going to be that much different from each other at that price range. They're all going to be pretty good, you know. But if you're trying to get you know, I just want better, you know, I just want better. Now, right now I've got a list of about 4 or 5 mics, some for studios, some for live and whatever. And one guy, I think he summed it up really well. He had a KSM 9 and a couple of those. And those are like $1,000 mics, right? So do you get, you know, $1,000 to $1,500 mics? Do you get 10 times the mic for it? Well, no, not necessarily, but you do get something that those mics can do that this can't. The KSM 9 is really like a hot rodded version of the KSM 8. It's like taking your SM57 and SM58, putting them together, okay, but the best versions of the SM57, SM58, put it together and you got an SM9. So you got more clarity, you've got a more balanced frequency sweet spot. So, you know, you can sing here, and there's not a lot of shift in tone like on the KSM8. Where here on this, if you sing here, it sounds completely different than it sounds when you're singing up there, right? On the SM58. So you know, what's that worth to you? Is that worth that $1,000 or $1,500 or whatever? For some people, it might be. Like one guy summed it up. He goes like, there was a guy that had one of these, and he was like, oh, well, that mic you have sounds really good. And he had the KSM 9, for example, which is also by Shure. And he was saying to the guy, you know, well, you should get one. He goes, well, I can't justify the price. He goes, well, how much did you pay on your guitar? You know, how much did you pay on your amp? How much did you know? And one thing, this is going to sound really strange what I'm about to say, but when you really think about it, it makes a lot of sense. So let's say you're a guitar player that sings, no matter if you're acoustic or electric. Okay, and you've got like a $3,000 acoustic guitar or $3,000 electric guitar. Okay, maybe you don't have that, right? And you have the $130 mic, right? I would rather have the $3,000 mic and the $130 guitar. Why? Because if you think of any show you've ever seen live that really blows you away, 9 times out of the 10, it's the clear vocals that blow you away. If you want kind of an example, whether you're into the genre or not, go listen to some of the stuff from Epica or Nightwish or whatever. Listen to the vocals. Or a really great new band, Illumishade. Go listen to that. Listen to the vocals. Listen to them live. And when you listen to them live, Elvedi, same thing. Listen to them live. And when you listen to them, you know, the vocals are clear, they're full. And a lot of it is like, it's really piss poorly recorded, like on people's cell phones. And it's like, they sound perfect. You know what I mean? So they're not singing through these things. They would never be able to get that at those volumes. Like, you know, walk in open air. I mean, that's pretty loud. Their smallest stage there is going to be pretty loud. The Ottawa Blues Fest, the smallest stage there, I remember watching Primus on it, and they were loud as hell. You know, and it was the smallest stage there. I mean, you could hear basically, you know, pretty much the you know, you could hear the volume across the city. You know what I mean? Like, it's that loud. So if you have something that the louder you get, the more it exposes the flaws. You know what I mean? What's that worth to get rid of those flaws a lot easier? You know, like make it a more tame mic at high volumes. So that's where these really expensive mics pay off, is at the high volumes. I'm not talking recording mics, I'm talking live mics. So again, maybe, if you're thinking of buying your first microphone and you got a little bit more money, look at the KSM8 and you know, the Sennheiser 835 and stuff like that. They're in about the same price range. And, you know, you compare those. So like all the base level mics, you know, if you've got the money to go to one tier up, go one tier up. So you got the SM58, then you got the SM86, the 87, which is basically these things on steroids. But, you know, like one's just slightly better than the other in certain areas, such as vibration reduction, you know, so when you're holding it, you're not hearing, all that stuff. So for me, it's not an issue. Handheld's not an issue as much because I'm a guitar player. So when I'm singing, I'm probably not going to be hanging, it's going to be on a mic stand anyway. And a lot of times, even if I'm not playing the guitar and I sing live, I don't touch the mic. I just stand in front of the mic and sing it. Unless it's a wireless mic, and then that's kind of cool. But that's a whole different animal there. So I've got lots of experience on stages over the years with these things. And you will see these things on stage. For example, I was watching a Teresa's video last night, which is a metal band from Finland. And they do a song called Home Guard and Beyond. Now, the lead singer, I don't know what mic he has. He has some sort of wireless. But the bass player, he's singing through one of these. Or a version of one of these. Like, it's that crazy. It's like, a big freaking open air concert like that. So you can get away with it. It's just, for the really good vocals, it is worth it to have, because the vocals, like, how many times have you heard a band and the band sounds great, but the like the PA is not good enough to keep up with the vocal, put out enough volume for the vocals. And that's 90% of rock metal bands, is like, it's like your guitar amps are on like 2 and it's like it's drowning out the PA. And then the singer, you just can't hear him properly. He doesn't sound good. The mid's not cutting through. All these bad things. And then you got another band where they're playing loud, but the singer's as clear as glass. What's the difference? You know what I mean? A lot of times it's, the PA, just not adequate for, what they're doing. But when the PA is adequate for what they're doing, that's when you get the extra benefit of having a more consistent mic. Because when you at a certain lower volume and you're singing here and you're singing here, you hear a bit of a difference, right? But when you get really loud, going from here to here is like, it's a crazy noticeable thing. Even the untrained musician will pick it out. And that's where you run into the limitations of this. So you'll notice people that sing with these SM58s, they always stay in one spot. They're always singing in the same spot. They find the sweet spot. Where if you got the guys with the more expensive mics, there's one is, I think it's a DPS, what's it called? The lead singer from Great White, the new lead singer from Great White, is singing through it, and it looks like it's like a $1,500 mic, and it looks like it's really, 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 really good one. But is it better than the KSM11 or the KSM9 or the KSM8? I don't know. Right? I'd have to try them. But it's nice to be able to hone it down into some of the flagships. And you don't always have to buy the flagship, you know what I mean? The flagship mic. But you also don't always have to buy the bottom tier mic either, just because you don't know what to buy that's better. So I guess I'll leave it at about that. But what I'm getting at is that the SM58 is a great mic for what it is. And it's a great starting point. But if you have a little more money, don't start here. Start with something a little bit better. A little bit better, you can pay that much more for a little bit better. Just understand that. A lot of times I find, you have to understand what you're paying for. So if you have a mic that's 4 times the price, what's it giving you that this doesn't? And that's how you have to look at it. So look at all the features, like how well it filters out, the bleed in sounds from things around you. Like having a mic that has tonally no real benefit over this, but is, 3 times less likely to feed back on you. What's that worth to you? You know what I mean? I think that's worth a lot. That's definitely worth spending some money on, because that will give you something great. That will give you something that you can use, and it will actually better your performance live. And better performance, more people like it. More people like it. More people come see you. You get more support for your music, etc., etc. So I'm one of those guys. Don't spend money you don't have to, but know what you're buying, so that you don't buy this one, then the one slightly more expensive, then slightly more expensive, and then, just go from the base one, your second microphone. Like guitars, I say this about guitars. You bought your beginner guitar, don't ever buy another beginner guitar. Don't buy an intermediate guitar. Just save up, do without until you can get, whether you have to do it on a credit card, only if you can make the payments, or if you just have to save up, go from this to the pro. Just go from this to the pro. Don't waste your money on the stuff in between, because the stuff in between slows you down from getting to the pro stuff. Either get the beginner stuff or get the pro stuff. Now, that said, if you're just beginning, don't start at the pro stuff because you don't really know what you need yet. You have to use these things live a few times to really realize what they can and cannot do. Most people have a lot of experience of what these mice are great at and what they're not. So anyway, I'll leave it at about that. So there you go. Have yourselves a great day.